Eryi's action is not a game which pulls any punches. If you've ever played a game like Super Mario Bros. The Lost Levels, or I Wanna Be the Guy, you'll know exactly what to expect. This game is full of traps and devious challenges to make any platforming fan just a little bit questionable of their own skills. If you just look at the sheer amount of traps that are in this first level, you'll understand how frustrating this game can be. It forces you to do things like level memorization and Twitch gameplay, which not a lot of people can enjoy. It can be a real test of patience, and so for the true gamers who will go past the 100 or so lives they'll lose in the first few levels, will realize this game actually has a lot to offer. In addition to running and jumping, Eryi can pick up and carry objects and parts of the environment to help her get through each level. Sometimes this requires deep analysis and problem solving, which is quite unusual for a game of this genre. This switch in gameplay means that the game is more than just jumping through a bunch of obstacles, and it can really help slow down the pacing to make it feel like a full experience. That's not to say this game is any easier, however, since all the trappings of the genre are still here, from fake blocks to disappearing platforms, to enemies that appear right out of nowhere. Some gamers may feel this approach to level design is unfair, and I guess they have a point. I can't think of too many deaths I've had which are actually the fault of my own bad judgment or bad skills rather than the game's dastardly trick. Developers Extal Sword have a great sense of humor, and they actually poke a lot of fun at difficult games that fall in this genre. They play with audience expectations, so that once you think something might happen, something completely different happens, and it can be a very amusing experience, if it does mean you end up dying anyway. This makes this game very fun to stream or let's play, and despite its high difficulty, I think this game might actually have a lot more relevance to casual players. People who can laugh at themselves and laugh at how the game treats them unfairly, rather than thinking about how annoying it is to die needlessly, would have a lot more fun with this game. They'd be able to sit back and laugh at just all the crazy stuff that happens. Even in the first level, there's a lot of secrets that you need to go see. This gem, for example, I have no idea how to get to. Once you step up there, a bunch of spikes comes down and blocks you off. This actually shows up how the game blends problem solving and masochistic deaths really seamlessly, and the gameplay flows so well that you wouldn't notice the change of genre. If we had to talk about its downsides though, Eryi's action does feel like quite a cheap game. It's made by a very small team of Japanese developers, and it means the graphics often seem a little bit rough cut, and some of the bosses don't even animate. Sometimes the world might look a bit lifeless. Overall, Eryi's action is a solid platformer which I'm sure will please genre fans. If you're new to this idea of difficult platformers however, you might want to be careful as the low production values can be off-putting for some.